Yes, awesome. Because I will show some prototype at the same time. Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Yi-Fei Chen. You can just call me Fei. Now I am in the Netherlands. This is my studio, my little studio, and it's a bit messy because I work with a lot of objects. And I will talk a bit about my background. I was training as the industrial designer in Taiwan, and after work for audio product company, I decided to explore more. So I came to Netherlands to study social design, design academy and TOEFL. And now I'm still in Netherlands after graduate. And my main interest is mostly about like your inner experiences, like how you feel, like something which is intangible. And I focus more on the human layers and also social relations. And my work is mainly about objects, device, tools, and some of them are interactive. You can interact with it, and some of them there are a lot of mechanics related. And I will show you some example of my work. As you can see, this one, the model is me. This is a gun, and actually it's a gun which you can use your tears as a bullet. And this device, actually it can freeze your tears when you collect it, and you will freeze your tears here like in 30 seconds. And then you can decide it if you want to shoot it. So it's kind of like a very strong manifesto that how I turn my vulnerability into my strength. And this is the prototype. And this one is the first concept model that I imagine this device will look like that. Like very simple, like you have this to collect your tears, and then here somehow you make it freeze, and then you can shoot it. But in the end, it's become a bit complicated because it's really hard to realize it. And this one is before I figured out how to make it freeze, I always need to put in the freezer to freeze my tears, and then I can test shooting. So yeah, this is the process, and I made a lot of model. This is the one of the model for shooting, and this is more. I was testing with the structure to see if it's like functional, and I use metal a lot. I have a little lathe which I work with metal parts, and I use plastic to make the structures. And yes, so this is it's the explain the idea. Like because it's a very personal story, but I won't share it here. It's too long. But in short, it's like someone received the authority or like a mental authority, and you feel you are very suppressed or depressed. You might cry, you might feel frustration, and I want to turn this frustration into your self-defense. So, and this gun and can also represent as a violence, and violence for me it's also authority, but physically. So I kind of turn the mental authority into physical authority. So it's the complete the mechanism. Yeah. And that is the one example. And the second example is called Excuse Me. And actually it's a stool, which when you sit on it, it will slowly inflate. And the only way to actually, okay, it's sorry, I'm a bit excited now. Like when you sit on it, there is a mechanism underneath. It will sense your weight, so it will slowly inflate it. And the only way to make it deflated is to put some water, so it will shrink. And it's kind of like it gives you a good excuse. If you are in a party but you really want to leave, you can say, hey, I need to get some water, or I need to get some drink for my stool, for my chair, otherwise it will explode. So it's kind of a hilarious way to express the social pressure when you are in a social occasion. Yes, so I even make a manual, like teach you how to use this tool. Like, oh, if it's inflated, you need to fill it with water. And if you sit too long, it will just explode. So you have a very good excuse. Yeah. So in short, you can say I use this tool to visualize the social pressure as introverts. Yeah. Okay. And the third one I want to share is called Ways of Crying. And actually, it's a set of tools which you can collect your tears in a different way, but it's more like a ritual. Tear little part, this little round, I use the surface tension, actually just some white metal wires. But when you collect the tears, it will just stick there. And then it has like two wings, so you can just parachute your tears in the air. And I found it very poetic, so I just do it. And the other one is, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like lacrimentary. It's a necklace, which you can collect your tears. You can see this is a lid, so you can open it, and then you can collect your tears. So I kind of use it as a public manifesto. Like, you don't need to hide your weakness or your vulnerability. Yes. And the other one is called tear bed. It's like this big, and it is a wax plate. So you can imagine, if you are crying, you can put this and you will collect your tears. And because it's wax, so your tears will look like peel, like peeler, like, you know, like I don't know how, PEARL. Like, it will looks like a very beautiful water drop on the plate. Yes. And as I know, there are a lot of fashion designer and a lot of people are experts about fabric. So I'm gonna share one project. It's related to fast fashion, and this project called Primark Panties. And it is kind of I had experiences. I bought a jacket in Primark. It's like €25. It's so cheap, but somehow it is too long. So I asked someone to modify it, but it costs like €25. So it's totally the same price. So this is really like a shock for me. Like, okay, it is like this clothes is now so cheap, so no one cared to take care of it. So I make this kind of extreme product, like it's a panties, but you wear once and you throw it away. So I use, it looks like a raw tissue, so it's increased the image, like you use once and you throw it away. So it's like this. It's a very simple structure. I use laser cutting to build the structure. Yeah, and also I design some pattern. Yeah, but it's more like a conceptual product. Yes. Yeah. And currently, I'm working on a project called COVID-19 collection. It is personal protection, and I was inspired by the mask, because when I'm in Netherlands, I found like not many people are wearing masks, and as a Taiwanese, we love to wear masks. So I don't understand why they are so not a fan of masks. So I start to dive into the cultural perspective, and somehow I learned that for them, like face represent self-identity. So showing your face is showing your authenticity. So it's very important. So if you cover your face, people will think you are maybe not honest. So I just decided totally transparent mask to point out these cultural differences. And I also think about, okay, if the traditional medical mask somehow conceal your identity, and can I, applying a different logic, I make this protection which can show your identity. Like I make it more iconic, more fashionable, or have more styles, like to encourage people to wear it, and also it's reflects like the new like a new lifestyle. Yeah. So this is the first object, and this is the second one. It's also something you can wear here, and it's more like a ring thing. And the third one is something you wear here. And I will reveal more detail in my Instagram because I haven't published yet, but it will be soon. Yes, and that's basically what I'm doing. And I participate this open call is because I want to like learn from different disciplines like fashion, or like more traditional craftsmanship. And because me as an artist, I focus on objects a lot, and somehow I feel it might be a limitation for me. So I really want to, through collaboration, I can learn how to work on different artistic formats, maybe performance, maybe maybe performance or other way. And I personally very interesting about self-empowering, ritual, meta psychology, and also identity, and also fashion. Yes, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to collaborate with all of you. Yes. Thank you. I finished.
Thank you, Fei. Do we have any question here for Fei? Actually, I'm really curious about the gun you make. What was the first thing you shoot? And what was the material you have tried? Because I'm curious about the power of the tear gun.
Actually, it's not really like strong. It cannot really kill a person. But it's actually I shoot my head of department in my graduation show. I shoot my teacher. And because you need to wait like 30 seconds. When I point a gun and I wait 30 seconds, and my teacher is like, "Are you shooting me or not?" I'm really terrified. Like he's, even though I didn't shoot it yet, he already feel the tension. So the object itself already express a lot. You don't need to shoot it. Yeah. Yes.
Really
is it explained?
Yeah, I really like your work. It's like like social terrorism style, you know, a little bit, you know, like pranks and stuff like that. Did you think about like when you did like this clear mask about like mute people also, because the like people who cannot hear, you know, so if with most of the mask they cannot communicate, you know, with each other, so there is this thing with like clear mask, like for for like lips reading, you know, so it's really nice as well. I'm done.
Thank you. I also saw you are also making some face mask, but with like something flowing. It looks very interesting. I really want to know like how you come up with those ideas.
This is like
yeah.
the mind.
Yeah, we can talk about it later.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Do we have any other question for Fei here?